Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Monday workout. Just be advised there are some schedule changes for this week only. So there are some placards posted and we have these up online as well. So just be advised of that if you haven't been to the gym in a while and you show up at one of these classes, all right? So for today, we're going to do our deadlift strength work, and then we have a little descending rest interval workout to follow that. So we're gonna begin with 2 rounds through 90 seconds of your choice warm-up pace cardio. And then I want you to get a medium band and mount it to the rig at approximately hip height. And we're gonna do a couple drills with it. The first one is a hinge drill, right? So I wanna step through the band so it is around my waist, and I'm gonna walk away from the band, and then I'm just practicing my hip hinge, right? And all I'm doing is letting the band pull my hips back until I feel a little bit of a stretch in my hamstring. The goal being here is that we're feeling the initiation of the descent at the top of the deadlift. So if you want to imagine yourself deadlifting, you can do that as well, just like a pretend bar in your hand, or if you actually want to have a PVC pipe or something like that in your hand, you can do that. But just get 8 reps of that movement to practice our hinge. Should feel like kind of like an RDL. Next one is going to be a band row from the rig, so you can keep it at the same height or you can raise it up, but get some shoulder activation, some lat activation. I like to say do these with your palms facing up to encourage more lat engagement when we do it. And then the last one is a trunk rotation. This one, make sure you don't get too heavy of a band when you do this, or you won't be able to get the right range of motion on this. But outside foot forward, I'm in a stagger stance that looks like my split stance when I land in a split jerk, or if I went into a lunge and I just pushed straight up about a foot, right? Palms, our fingers are interlaced and the band is in my palms, and I'm just going to use that tension of the band resisting my rotation away from the rig, all right? And the more I push out and straighten my arms out, the harder this movement becomes. So with this level of a band, I have to kind of bend my elbows a little bit to get the full rotation on it. If you use a little bit lighter band, you could probably stretch your hands out a little bit further, but work on some rotational strength in those lower obliques, as well as the stability of your stance when you do that. So outside leg is forward. When I switch sides to do it the other side, then again, outside leg is forward on that exercise, all right? Next one, some push-ups to down dog. Nothing fancy here. If you're gonna do your push-ups on an elevated object, I still want you to do these push-up to down dogs on the floor, just so you get some eccentric practice on the push-up. And then if you need to use your knees to get up like so, and then shrug back into the down dog, that is just fine, all right? So after you finish 2 rounds of that warm-up sequence, then I want you to go into 3 sets of 8 reps of ascending weight barbell deadlift. Use the empty barbell on the first round. Use say like 25 to 35% on the second round. Use 35 to 45% on the second round. Make sure that as you do your deadlift warm-ups, you are escalating the weight every round. No 2 sets should be the same weight in your warm-ups, all right? When you finish your warm-ups, then we're going into our deadlift strength sets, and these are in the mid to high volume of deadlifts, right? So not like 3 sets of 20, right? We're in the middle range, right? So where you're gonna be middle range, middle percentage, topping out at about 85%. So if you do 8, 8, 8, and then 5, 5, the last set of 5 at 85% is written as a threshold set. It should be either I can't do 6 reps, right? I can only do 5, or if you feel like you can do 6 reps, make that last one an AMRAP, right? So you're at your 85%, but if you can get 6 reps or 7 reps, then we know that your strength has increased and you can reevaluate your percentages if you like, okay? On the supersets, so in between each set of deadlifts, we're gonna have odds and evens. On the 1st, 3rd, and 5th sets, we're gonna do a side plank variation, right? So the basic side plank is like so, right? Where my elbow's on the ground. If you wanna do your hand on the ground, that's fine. But I would like to do a lower knee raise, right? So raise that knee up and hold that knee for 30 seconds. That makes this significantly more challenging, right? If you need a little scaling assistance on the side plank, you can get a bench like this. Try to get into exactly the same position and raise that knee up just the same way we did with my elbow on the ground. It just, the angle change makes it a little bit simpler, or not simpler, it makes it a little bit less taxing on your obliques when you do it. On the 2nd and 4th rounds, we're just gonna do a full minute of a front plank, right? So you're gonna plank in between each set of deadlifts. It just switches modes every round. When you finish all of that, you can put all of your bar and everything away, and you just need your push-up station available. Okay, so this is 3 hard rounds, but they decrease in volume as you go through. The rest changes from the first round to the second round. Right, so we'll start off with a bike interval. So it's gonna be 50 calories for the guys, 40 calories for the ladies on the first round. Then we're gonna do 40 reps of a push-up. Again, the push-up range of motion standards that we look for are my elbows are straight, my body is straight, I'm in a straight line from my shoulders through my hips, my knees, and my ankles. At the bottom, it's chin, chest, and thighs all touching the ground at the same time. My thighs are floating just a little bit off the ground, right? But ideally, they're like pretty close. I don't want them up here, right? I want my body to remain straight, braced and neutral, and then elbows straight again at the top, okay? So make sure we're hitting the top, hitting the bottom, whether you're using an assistance device like an adjustable pull-up bar or something. And then the box quick step. So this is 40 total, and we're just alternating feet, right? So this is like running in place, swapping feet from the right to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? All I'm doing is tapping my foot to the top of that object, trying to move my feet as fast as possible so that I'm not jumping. I never want my 2 feet to be touching the same thing at the same time. So I don't want both feet on the floor. I don't want both feet on the plate. I only want 1 foot on one of those 2 at a time. And you can use a plate like that. You can use a bench like this, no higher than parallel, right? So no 24-inch boxes. I don't think anybody can use a 24-inch box and keep their knee at or below parallel. This is the highest that I would go for me, right? So then the reps descend and the rest descends as you go between the rounds. So it's 3 minutes rest after the first round, 1.5 minutes rest after the second shorter round, and then the final round. And you can rest as long as you want after that. That's it for this Monday. See you guys on Tuesday.